Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by and looking at the video. If you've been following my channel for a while, I did say in my last video that I was considering buying a new gun but couldn't quite make my mind up as to which one to get for my birthday in about 3 or 4 months. Well, mid-May it is. What is it? February the... I think it's the 13th today, 13th of February. And it's blooming cold. -2, -3 it is now, but earlier on when I did my little target shooting session, it was -2. Anyway, shooting at a normal distance of 16 yards, 48 feet. I know it's not a great deal. I noticed in one of my comments on my last video, somebody says, oh, shoot it out to 50 yards. Well, considering the person who sent the comment is in London, I believe somewhere Essex maybe, I'm not sure. We are in a lockdown, so the only place I can shoot my gun unfortunately is in the back garden. So 16 yards is all I've got. However, 16 yards I believe is a good yardstick. Judging by my targets, well, my target, I don't know, I haven't measured the millimetres, but it's a very small blue circle in the middle of in this target. The one I shot today. You'll see the video in a moment when I've shown you around the gun. I'll get on to that in a second. But the little blue area in the centre there is probably 7 millimetres, and I consider it's 16 yards is not a great deal, but it's a good yardstick. If I was to get any shots outside the well, I wouldn't be happy if they're outside the centre ring. But certainly if they're in the red ring or outside of that, then at 16 yards it's not good. So at 30 yards it's going to be terrible. So as I say, I haven't really got much choice, as most of us haven't. So right, I couldn't make my mind up as to what gun to get, whether it be a Viroc, HW110. I quite like those, even though people on the forums will probably direct you towards the 100. They consider that's a better gun, but it's, everything in this world appears to be personal preference, unless you can say draw a distinct line to say why one is better than the other, in your opinion. I shouldered a 110 and I like the way it felt in my hands. I like the texture, the rubbery texture, which I believe is going to stand the test of time if you look after it. I don't go shooting and catch my gun in the woods or shoot live animals or quarry. I only bench rest really, a bit of freehand and mainly bench rest, so my guns will be looked after whatever finish they've got. Anyway, I jumped the gun and I got this one early. It's not my birthday yet for, as I say, 2 or 3 months. And when Dan first got this gun out at the gun club about, I don't know, about maybe 6 months ago, he bought 2 new guns. He bought a Hatsan Gladius and this on the same day. And he turned up to the gun club and got them both out. But he didn't... it's not that he could, I don't think he could pick any faults with the Hatsan to say, oh, I don't like this gun for this reason or that reason. He just didn't bond with the gun. Dan's quite fond of this one, and I've sat next to him when he owned it, and I've seen him exchange shots with somebody about 30-40 foot down, shooting a long target 86 yards away, a reactive target. It's very small, possibly 2.5 inches by 1/4 of an inch the top is, and it's got a little circular one at the bottom, and then you knock the top one down and then react it with the bottom one. And I've seen Dan trade shots with this gun on a few occasions. I'm not on about one lucky shot, I'm on about, there was a guy with an FX Impact 30 foot away and Dan was to the left of me with this gun. So when I saw how well it shot, I was quite impressed for the price, which is the reason I got it. And then it gives me another 7 months to decide for Christmas, when the wife says, what do you want for Christmas? Obviously I will put money to it as well. I wouldn't expect her to pay for it. So I shall buy a brand spanking new gun when I've decided what I want, come Christmas. Now this gun is tactical, I think, based on, is it an AR-15 style? certain things I don't like about it, but I'll get onto those in a moment, and I'll give you some close-ups. And but the main thing, the main feature, or the main three features I actually do like about the gun: side lever cocking. I'm a fan of side lever cocking. I've had a couple of guns that are bolt action, and to be quite honest, I don't like having to put effort into things. If I want to put effort in something, I'll get me underlever HW97 out. Give that a bit of effort to cock it. But when it comes to cocking a PCP, I'm really stuck on the side lever, so that's in my favour. It's got a 500cc air bottle on it, so you get, I don't know exactly how many shots I'm going to get. I would guess about 180 shots from per fill, so that's in my favour. And most of all, the number one on the hit list is how accurate it is. For a gun of its price, it's unbelievably accurate. Now, if you're not inside, if you don't live in the UK, we're restricted to 12 foot-pounds of energy. So to get a gun what can shoot just over 80 yards and still be fairly accurate with only 12 foot-pounds, well 11.6 probably this gun, I haven't chronoed it yet, but it'll be somewhere around 11.5 foot-pounds. So to shoot accurate at 80 yards, in my books, is a good gun. Well, we'll get the camera around and show you the thing more close up. But I do eventually intend, because I'm nearly 57. In my time when I started with air rifles many years ago, when I was about 13 or 14, you didn't have guns with plastic stocks, didn't have PCPs. It was basically spring guns with wooden stocks. So I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and if I'm honest, I prefer wooden stocks. So it's very likely in the future that I'll get a Turkish, well, a Pro 500 stock. I believe this all the metalwork on this will just drop straight into a 500 Pro stock, or a Pro 500. Yeah, the Turkish stock what comes with a Pro 500, I believe everything out of this gun will drop straight into that one. So that's probably where I'm going to head for in the future. I have seen somebody else's channel, you can get an Altos, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, regulator, quite easy to fit on. If you really want to be extravagant and push the boat out, you can get carbon fibre buddy bottle, but won't make any, well, it'll make the gun slightly lighter, but it's just for looks, I would imagine. But no, we'll spin the camera and we'll have a closer look at the gun. So this is more or less how you get the gun when you buy it new. This is probably 6 months old. I don't know for sure, it might be 7, it might be 5, but somewhere around there. This is what to expect. A nice plastic case. I've heard people bitch about these and say, oh, you know, they're not the best quality. They're dead easy to put back together if one of these ever comes off when you're messing about with it. Slightly wobbly. It's not really thin, the plastic. I've heard people say how thin the plastic is, but when the case is closed, I can assure you I've carried my np500 many times, got it from the back of my car and walked it down the street to where I live, or vice versa. When I've got to the shooting club, got it out and walked I don't know, 40-50 foot paces to get the gun out. Many times the handles haven't fell off, the gun hasn't fell out, so there's no damage been caused. It's perfectly sturdy when it's closed. There's nothing at all wrong with it. Normally you buy a gun and then you've got to buy a gun slip or a gun bag, another 20 odd quid, or depends how high you want to go and what quality and what size, etc. But it's more money to spend, despite the fact that most guns or PCPs you're going to have to get some telescopic sights for it, so there's money to spend as well. Possibly a silencer for the thing. So anyway, let's have a closer look at the gun. 500cc buddy bottle. The date is printed on the bottom of that, and the size, etc. I'll show you that in a moment. A twin rail, dovetail it's got both rails in one, so if your scope mounts a dovetail or weaver, they will fit that, so that's an added bonus. As I say, you get the gun case, plastic gun case. You get two 14-shot magazines, and I've used these many times with my np500. Never had a fault with one of them, never ever once. They're not flimsy rubbish plastic crappy things, they are actually quite good. And also a counter, so you know how many shots you've got left. What else is there? You get your instruction booklet, kral arms. Right, getting to the rear of the gun, this is the part that I really didn't like when I first saw it, but it has grown on me now. I need to get, it's going to be a bit awkward, this is to do. The best here, considering I've got the camera in one hand, I've only got one hand free. But I've seen some models where they have a little thing you undo, and then you can raise or lower the cheek piece there, goes up or down. That's set in my optimal position. There's a button there that you press, and then that goes up or down, it goes flat to this piece of plastic. Then if you press that, you can extend the stock. I can't do it very well, but as I say, I've only got one hand free. That extends the length from the trigger, so if you're a shorter person or a younger person, that'll do the job. You can alter the reach, I'll do that in a moment. Match grade 2-stage trigger, and I have loosened the tiny little Allen head key there, look, the little bolt, and I've kinked it slightly towards the left, so because I'm left-handed and it fits my finger perfect, it's tilted that way, and it's a fantastic trigger. I don't know if Dan adjusted it when he owned the gun, but it is quite light. It's not too light to be dangerous, but it is quite light, nice to use. Then you've got your safety up here, which I never use, never ever do I use the safety. I was brought up with guns with no safety, so if well, fortunately the manometer on this gun is underneath, so you've never got to look at the you know, the front end of the barrel. But with other guns, I don't put it on safe. All I do is pull the trigger. I aim the gun at the floor, pull the trigger, and then presume it's safe. Then I'll look at the manometer at the front of the barrel, if that's where it's located. It's got the single shot train at the moment. I don't know why I decided to put that in there. I should have just, when I did my target shooting with it earlier, I should have put a magazine in by rights, because it's a bit fiddly when your hands are cold. But all the action here, on all the metal work, the shroud, the barrel, the silencer, the bottle, that all, with undoing just one nut underneath the bottom there, all that should come straight out and drop straight into a nice wooden stock. So that's what my plans are in the future. If we turn the gun upside down, then you can see the printed on the bottle there, look. Get my camera to focus. 250 bar, 500cc, produced the 1st of 20th. So it does go up to 250 bar, but I'll probably keep it around 220 when I fill it up. And kral also, which is a bit annoying, this is, it doesn't have a probe that you push in like most guns appear to have a little socket somewhere, and you push your probe in to recharge it. These have this affixed to it, and of course when you buy the gun you do get the adapter what slides on and fits there. Yeah, this has this this part sticking out under there next to the manometer, and they do supply it with a small connector what fits on top. Sadly, that is very slightly marginally bigger than a standard Foster quick connect. So when I got the gun, I thought, oh, I got my diver's bottle, and it wouldn't go on there, and I thought, oh blimey. So it'd be good in life if people standardise things instead of you know, you've always got to buy something different. But if I've got two other guns that do have those on, those type adapters, And they're not, I don't mean the kral adapters, I mean the standard size adapters. So it means if I want to use my diver's bottle for another gun, I've got to take that adapter off and then put the standard one back on. It's very inconvenient. So I wish people wouldn't do sort of things like that. Turning the gun over to the other way, which is very awkward with one hand, but I'll manage. There's your power adjuster, which in this country it'll either be high or low. All these little increments between the plus and the minus, they don't do a lot, I shouldn't think. I'll just leave it flat out. But if you're in another country where your gun's shooting, I don't know, 30 or 40 foot-pounds, I guess as you turn that down it will alter. Dovetail rail at the bottom for your bipod or other accessories you may wish to attach to the gun. It has got a shroud over the barrel. I've never taken that off yet. And the silencer, which I don't know a lot about, whether Dan had to buy that. I should think he did. The gun is very quiet when you shoot it. Definitely garden friendly. I'm not sure how loud it is with the silencer off, but I'll test that in the future. The only one thing I don't like about this plastic stock is a fake switch here. I don't know what that's all about. That makes the gun more like a toy to me than a decent air rifle. But these are just small things. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as the gun operates correctly and shoots accurately, and the price of these guns, when this one was bought, was around £530, depending where you buy it from, of course. But there's always going to be somebody out there who paid, I don't know, £450 for it, or £550. So 530 UK pounds will get you one of these. But it appears that there's so many of these different models that all have the same type of action. So I should imagine getting parts, if you needed parts to service them, it'd be quite easy. It's range right. rangerite.co.uk. I'm sure they'll be able to supply you with the new O-rings if you needed any, or you had any problems. But right, we'll get over to the target shooting. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try my hardest to reply to you. And thanks for watching the video so far. We'll go over to the target shooting piece and you'll see how well it did. Right, there is our targets. Normal position, as in the last probably 3 videos that I've made. The top target is the one I'm going to shoot a few shots into. The bottom target is the one I'm going to zero the scope to, because I'm not sure what distance it's zeroed to. So I'll probably put a couple in the bottom one. When I'm happy that it's somewhere near the zero, then I'll start shooting the top one. It's -2 degrees today and it's blimey is it cold. Here we go, look. There's the targets. I'm in my man cave. It's a little bit warmer in here, but only by a couple of degrees. It's, what is it? What does it say it is on my thermometer? Oh, it's 9 degrees. 9 in here, -2 outside. But of course I've got the door wide open, so it won't stay that temperature for long. Shooting in with the single shot tray in, which I've never used before. In fact, I've only had 10 shots with this gun since I've had it. I've had it probably about 11 days or something like that, I would guess. Right. Let's get on with the shooting, put the camera into situation on its tripod and see what happens. Let's see how the kral np500 does. I've laid 10 pellets out, AA field Diablos, and oh, it's cold, I keep moaning. Let's see how this gun does compared to the last one, which was a high-end gun. First pellet. Here we go, first shot. Awkward when you've got cold fingers with a single shot tray. Very awkward. Never mind. Second shot. see where these are going, mind you. Third shot. Rolling back to front. Should have used a magazine. Why did I use this? Oh, I think this is the fourth. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Last shot coming up, number 10. That'll be it. All 10 shots. Well, let's bring the target card in and see how we did. So the card on the left hand side was the np500, the kral np500 I did a couple of weeks ago. That's the whole 10 pellets left, same pellets. You have my field pellets there. I use the same ones for both guns, and in fact the other week for the RTI I use the same pellets as well. I rate those pellets, they seem to work in most guns that I come across. I used to favour JSBs, but once I started shooting these ones, I've stuck to these ones. And 452 head size. What are they? 8.4 grains. So that's our np500 we did a few days ago on one of my videos, and this is today's efforts. Slightly bigger hole now, very slightly, not by a lot. I mean, it's still a very small hole compared to a 5p piece. The 5p just totally dwarfs it, but and it's only 16 yards. I will see if I can find some footage from a while ago when we were out of lockdown, because I did shoot this gun when Dan owned it. So yeah, slightly a bigger hole. Now this is not to make an excuse what I'm going to say now, but the sight I've got on the gun, this Hawk 6x24x50, if you can see that there, 6x24x50. Nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't it won't focus at 16 yards very well for some reason. It claims it's on just less than 15 yards, but it's not truly in focus, and it's slightly blurred to my eyes. Maybe I could have stolen the one for the moment off the HW97. That's a Hawk scope, but it's a 3x9x40. That would have focused perfect. So slightly out of focus it was, slightly blurry, but it's not an excuse, because the gun didn't do bad, and at that range, let's be fair, it shouldn't. But I'll scour through my hard drive, and somewhere I'm going to find footage of shooting this gun. In fact, I've got footage from last summer as well that I've never uploaded to YouTube. But on the whole, not too bad. The sight underneath there, this is the one I used to adjust my scope. It just needed to go very slightly right and down from the original shot to get it there. So I shot 3 pellets, adjusted my scope, and then started my shooting. So yeah, it's alright. We'll see if we can scrape up some footage from, I don't know, 25, 35, something like that yards, and I'll add that onto this piece. But thanks for looking.